Welcome to the Caregiver Hour on 1250 WINS WHNZ, offering support for those who care for a loved one. A show that cares about you and supports and encourages you, the caregiver. Here's your host, Kim Linder.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Caregiver Hour radio show. We hope that you're doing really well today. And if you aren't, you've tuned into the best place for caregivers to come and get some respite for themselves, some encouragement and great information, and of course, just helping you create the balance to recharge yourself, your spirit and your mind and your body. And we've got some great guests from all different parts of the Tampa Bay area have come together from their expertise to bring you this great show. And this great show is called Breaking the Silence, Opening the Lines of Communication. And, that's a really exciting title to me because so often family members get together and they cannot have that conversation. They vibrationally, they come together and then all of a sudden they can't have that conversation and there becomes discord. And from discord comes disease. And we're really trying to bring more of an optimal way of living and having conversations and relationships. It all comes down to that, is having that conversation really helps that line of staying connected to who you are, but also how to care for your loved one. Because isn't that why we're always being a caregiver? How do we take care of others? But the balance is, how do we also take care of ourselves? And breaking that silence is part of it. Having our voice heard, feeling our energy being strong, staying within our personal power to be heard and be seen. And you can always do it in a very kind way. You can do it in a lot of different settings and different times of day, but just having that willingness and taking the step to have that conversation with someone who you are caring for, or maybe it's a team of people who are caring for a loved one, and having that conversation, opening that line of communication. Because once you do, things become much more in harmony, much more aligned, where you now can really flow together in taking care of the person who you love, who you admire, who you maybe even aspire to be. This is why caregiving is such a powerful journey. And it's not one-dimensional, it's multiple-dimensional, and it touches so many people's lives. And you have the power to do that. And I'm so thrilled to have my guest today to help really clear that message up for you from different perspectives. Our first guest is Bob Linde. He's APRH, Doctor of Oriental Medicine and owner at Acupuncture and Herbal Therapies here in the St. Pete area. But he's very universal. This gentleman speaks and he visits and he travels and he journeys so many different places all over the world. He is someone very approachable. This is what I love about Bob. He's approachable and he's knowledgeable and he's such a great listener and just a wealth of knowledge. So I'm very excited to have Bob here with us today. And then we have Mike LaVoy, who is ChFC, CFP, President at Beacon Asset Management. And Mike LaVoy is just a joy to have with you because he always brings a lot of laughter and he's got a great sense of humor and he always brings light to any kind of topic that we may be speaking about. And, finances could really be the deal breaker when you're trying to break the silence, but he's able to somehow make it all happen. And we're so lucky that he's here with us today. And then really, this is our first time having Cindy Cucuz, Director of Marketing and Public Relations at Memorial Hospital of Tampa. And we're so excited to have Cindy here. First of all, it's her first time, but also we're going to be talking about from the hospital point of view, how in a community are they able to help us with our line of communication and having resources for you, a caregiver in our area. So we're very excited about that. We also have a helpline. I want to talk about the helpline for a moment because people do call me on the weekends. They call me after working hours, and I answer that call for you because I am that caregiver coach, and I take and I take the time to listen to what is going on for you, and then I connect you with fabulous resources that I have checked out already for you. So when we have a Bob Linde on the show, if we have a Mike LaVoy on the show, or we even have Cindy on the show, these are places that I have checked out for you. So if you're looking for a hospital, if you're looking for a financial planner, if you're looking for an alternative way of really coming to have optimal health for yourself, maybe you have some medical problems that are going on and you don't know where to go. This is why I have all these different guests for you, and it makes the show fantastic. So we're so excited that you are here with us today. This helpline is available 24/7, as I mentioned, and it's on our website, thecaregiverhour.com. But if you're like me, I put things in my phone, and when I need it, I just push that button and it gets connected. That helpline number is 1-877-552-4950. I had a caregiver call me on Saturday. She had just listened to the show because this show airs on Mondays live, and then it's re-recorded again on Saturdays. And it's on Saturdays from 5 to 6 p.m., and we are getting such a following on Saturdays now. We're so grateful. And this family member called because she's taking care of 2 different family members and how to juggle all of that, how to move them along, how to get them into the same place. Well, this was the perfect topic, breaking the silence, opening the lines of communication, because what is happening for this family is that they're having a difficult time having that conversation, and I'm going to be guiding her and coaching her how to do that. But as we continue this show, I really want to bring on Bob Linde. So, Bob, welcome to the Caregiver Hour.
Hi, Kim. Thanks. It's great to be back on the show again.
Thank you so much. So tell me what have you been up to?
There's been a lot of stuff going on. It seems like we're constantly in change, and I think we've even moved since we spoke last.
Yes.
So we're in a new location downtown St. Pete. But the really exciting thing is we've brought a functional medicine MD into the practice now. So we are actually able to provide medicine from both the Eastern and the Western perspective. And we've been able to work together on a number of patients, which has really been an exciting, I think, a new paradigm for medicine, actually.
I think so, too, because before we started the show, we were having this great conversation about if someone was to come visit you, they have you and the doctor, and I asked, would you even be willing to have that conversation where it's the 3 of you or 4 of you sitting and having that conversation about what's going on with someone, so that they're saying it to the 2 people that are important, who are then going to be able to relay that information back to them.
Exactly. And it's one of those things where people have an option. Some people just want to see the acupuncturist
Right.
or the herbalist. Some people
Right.
just want to see Dr. Cole, the MD there. But ultimately, when people are dealing with so many multiple disorders and a range of symptoms,
Right.
the multiple approach system of it, where we're able to sit down, we're spending an hour and a half with a patient. They're sitting down with the acupuncturist as well as the MD and having a conversation of what's the best approach for that individual. Really, I think is just, it's one of those things that gives me goosebumps.
I know it does.
When we see that happening,
Right.
in real time. And the patients are just ecstatic about that kind of care.
I visited you at your new place, and I have to tell you, I love sitting in the room with all the herbs. That was pretty much magical for me. I didn't want to leave the room. And so we are going to be planning a lunch either in June or July. So if someone wants to have lunch with us, we're going to have lunch with, I would hope, you and also Dr. Cole. It'd be a nice way to introduce him, don't you think?
Yes, we'll actually have all of our practitioners there.
That's great.
There's actually 4 acupuncturists, all great herbalists.
Okay.
And it's funny, that is my favorite room as well.
Yes.
We've got over 800 herbs from around the world there. And I gave up my office, and I just sit in there at the conference table. I don't actually ever leave there.
That would be my spot, too. I can appreciate that. Just for our listeners, Bob, maybe you could talk about what is acupuncture.
And it's funny, most people are very familiar with acupuncture. We've seen it on TV and so many different shows. Oprah's even talking about acupuncture. And yet it's such a small part of what we do. Here in the U.S., acupuncture became the mainstay of what a Chinese medicine practitioner does. Oddly enough, in China, the herbal medicine is actually the primary approach.
Okay.
And so in reality, when we go to school and we actually do the same number of hours academically as an MD, they do way more clinicals because we're not catching babies or doing surgery. But we learn a unique diagnostic system outside the realm of Western medicine. We have to learn some Western medicine and pharmacology as well. But ultimately, we're using acupuncture, we're using dietary therapies, exercise therapy, herbal therapies, and massage therapy, all kind of wrapped together to look at this whole person approach. So I always say we're so much more than acupuncture, yet that's the familiar term for so many people. And I always love it when somebody asks me that kind of a question.
And so that really goes hand in hand with the herbs.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that's really great. So is there anything that pops up when I say a caregiver? What kind of maladies or come up that caregivers are suffering from that you end up helping them with?
And we do see a lot of caregivers. We see both the people they're taking care of, obviously, as well as the caregiver. We have a number of hospice workers who come and see us.
Yes.
And I hate to say it, stress is probably, in all of the different manifestations of stress, that's one of the easier things for us to work on. But there's other things, and we find that sleep deprivation, poor diet, they're not getting exercise, and so we see all of these things start to become a cumulative issue. And sometimes we're actually working specifically on an issue like sleep.
Okay.
But oftentimes we're going to be there kind of coaching them along to say, your sleep and your health care is just as important as the person you're caretaking
That's
for.
perfect.
And I want to keep it in the theme of, of communication.
Yes.
One of the things that we find is we deal with not just the physical, but we also deal with the emotional components in Chinese medicine. We see them intricately linked to each other. So the idea of grieving is so important, and being able to speak the words that are necessary for both the person they're caretaking for, as well as family members and such.
That's perfect. We are going to come back right after this break and hear more from Bob Linde, Acupuncture and Herbal Therapies. I'm Kim Linder. You're listening to the Caregiver Hour on 1250 WINS WHNZ.
Aston Gardens, Tampa Bay's premier senior living community, is excited to be able to support those who care for others. Please join them the third Thursdays of the month at 5:30 p.m. to learn creative problem-solving techniques and caregiving ideas from others who have been in your shoes. Aston Gardens specializes in independent living, assisted living, and memory care. Chosen for the third year in a row by the U.S. Commerce Association for the Best of Tampa Bay Award in residential care. Call 813-855-2811 or visit astongardens.com for more info.
Injured in a car accident or suffering from back and joint pain for a while? Clearly, you need to see a doctor. Call Dr. Ben, a chiropractor with 25 years experience. He listens, he cares, he gets results. His common sense approach? Coaching patients to be self-sufficient and less doctor-dependent. Let's face it, there are many things you can do to improve your health. Call Dr. Ben at 727-488-8044. Mention the Caregiver Hour radio show for a free examination. 727-488-8044. Dr. Ben, your coach to better health. 727-488-8044.
St. Joseph's John Knox Village of Tampa Bay, Tampa's premier retirement community, is part of the Baycare Health System. John Knox Village is known for its successful aging lifestyle, along with spacious apartments. John Knox Village offers a wide range of activities to fill one's life spiritually, physically, mentally, educationally, and nutritionally. In addition, every level of care is available to meet the needs of the aging population. John Knox Village, comfortable, casual, and secure for life. To schedule a tour, call 1-800-272-5669.
Caregiving has gotten harder and more complicated, even as families have more and more demands on their time. That's why AARP is here to help caregivers with the tools, information, and support they need to care for their loved ones and themselves. Check out aarp.org/caregiving to connect with other caregivers like yourself and find the resources you need. Visit the AARP Caregiver Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Caregivers, are you worried about mom or dad needing more care? How do you know when it's time to get help? Since 2004, Harmony Home Health has helped seniors in Tampa Bay find joy in their journey. You'd be amazed at how just a little bit of care can go a very long way. From just once in a while to every day of the week. Your loved ones experience independence, safety, and dignity wherever they call home. And your whole family experiences harmony. With Harmony Home Health, you are not alone. You can trust their family to take care of yours. Call 727-723-7532 or visit their website at harmonyhh.com/Kim.
It's the Caregiver Hour on 1250 WINS WHNZ with encouragement, guidance, and support for caregivers. Here's your host, Kim Linder. Stressful experience, Aston Garden. It's the Caregiver Hour on 1250 Wins WHNZ with encouragement, guidance, and support for caregivers. Here's your host, Kim Linder.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Caregiver Hour radio show. We've been talking about breaking the silence and opening the lines of communication, and maybe you're a caregiver who's kind of stuck, and we would like to help you be unstuck. And we've been talking to Bob Linde, doctor of Oriental medicine and owner of Acupuncture and Herbal Therapies here in the Tampa Bay area. So, Bob, we were talking about grief and how you help hospice caregivers deal with grief. Is there something else you wanted to say about that?
Sure. And it's funny you use the word stuck, and we oftentimes use that. That's actually the language of Chinese medicine. And we talk about the energy is stuck, and I always say my job is to unstuck it.
Right. Please.
But, when we look at grief and crying and sadness, all of those things that do come with that process, I have always worked on it from a very theoretical model when I work with my patients. And about a year and a half ago, my mom passed away. And so I hadn't really dealt with that on a very personal level in the past. And there were some very specific herbal formulations. And there was something I had created about 5 or 6 years ago once for a patient. It was kind of something I'd learned and something I kind of did my own creative twist on. That was a grieving bag. And I had put a number of herbs in there. And if anybody cares, it's pretty safe. It's rhodiola, lavender, lemon balm, mimosa flower, and roses, and put those in a little muslin bag. And I would give those to people to just hold on to as they go through that process. And I would give them a few herbs to take internally specific to the individual. Well, when you're going through that grieving process, you can't think as clearly as you would like. And so I was very lucky that there was another acupuncturist who took care of me. And actually I had taught those herbs in that bag too. And so she gave it to me when I needed it most. And I never knew how much it worked. And so it was actually magical to be able to, when I needed that strength, when I needed to go through those things, it still allows you to go through that grieving process because that's important.
Right.
We need to go through that, but we don't have to suffer as we do it.
Right.
And so I found that for the herbs, the acupuncture, those breathing techniques that I try to teach to everybody, that those were things that gave me that stability to go through there in a healthy way. Without doing harm to myself in that same time, because too often we lose our sleep and we start drinking or doing all the things that can be somewhat self-destructive when we're in pain of our own.
Right, exactly, to numb the pain. Can you just tell us again what was in that pillow? Because I loved that.
Yeah, I know. It's such a simple one. You can get it at any herb store. It's lavender, lemon balm, rhodiola, roses, and mimosa flower. It's a Chinese herb called Hihuanhua.
Okay, that's perfect. If anyone would like to learn more about what Bob does, maybe in your profession, you're trying to expand your profession, become more knowledgeable about Chinese medicine, or maybe you would like to make an appointment with the holistic practitioner that you have there, Dr. Cole, and just have that yin and the yang, the east and the west, how would they best be in touch with you, Bob?
The simplest thing is just give us a call. If they're in the Tampa Bay area, our number is 727-551-0857, or you can visit our website, which is acuherbals.com, ACUHERBALS.com.
And you said you're president of one of the organizations in your industry?
I've actually tried to stay involved in my community. So I think of my local community in St. Pete, but then I have two other communities that I exist in as well. One is the acupuncture community. So I'm part of the Florida State Oriental Medicine Association, which is our professional organization here in Florida. But then on a national level, I'm on the board of directors for the American Herbalist Guild, which is that professional organization for herbalists. And of course, I teach and train all over the U.S. as well as a lot here in St. Pete.
That's great. So do you travel to do your teaching, or do you do it as webinars?
I've just started doing webinars, and that's something I hope to do more of, but that's a very new realm for me. But mostly I travel. I usually travel within 1 or 2 days of Florida, but I teach at a lot of conferences around Florida and around the country, but primarily in the Tampa Bay area. So
would you say more people are embracing the idea of Oriental medicine?
Without a doubt. The research is really coming out in favor. And it's funny, we don't understand from a Western construct, from that medical construct, there is still ideas coming out, But what happens is they're doing the double-blind placebo-controlled studies, and they're finding out what we don't understand, but it works. And especially when we use those traditional diagnostics and methodologies. And the herbal medicine is still a little touchy with the Western medical realm. But even with that, we're about to see the first 2 Chinese herbal formulas go through FDA studies to be approved as drugs. And that'll be very interesting to see how that plays out.
Right.
But in particular, they're being used in conjunction with chemotherapy to enhance the effectiveness. I believe it's up to 40% improvement in its outcomes for colon cancer.
That's fabulous.
So we're seeing the research is finally being done, but what we've known, and it's one of the things I enjoy in my realm. I look at it from both a medical perspective, the chemistry of the plant, as well as those traditional diagnostics and understandings based on the energetics of a plant.
Yes.
And to bring those two together to try to understand the plant better. And I enjoy it so much. I actually grow over 100 medicinal plants in my yard to try to get to know those plants even better.
That's fabulous. Again, if you're interested in setting up an appointment with Bob, give them your phone number, please.
Sure. 727-551-0857.
That's great. So, Bob, we have a few more minutes. What else would you like to share with our listeners today and our viewers? Because we are now live web stream.
Sure. There's so many things, and I know acupuncture is a scary realm, and there's so many options within Chinese medicine, and I know that, there's a wider audience, and so there are lots of great acupuncture physicians and doctor of Oriental medicine out there. Mm-hmm. So I would encourage you to find somebody who's got that depth of training in Chinese medicine if you're looking for a practitioner in your area. But also for those of you who want to delve a little deeper and you want to start to learn it, there's great acupuncture schools throughout the state and throughout the country. They're master's degree programs, so 4 years of more schooling with a very unique set of study. But for some folks, they just care about herbal medicine. And there are lots of good herbal medicine schools out there. And of course, I'll give a plug for mine. I have one of the few 2-year clinical herbal programs in the country where we actually have a student clinic that allows for people to come and get low-cost training or low-cost treatments through herbalists, which is unlicensed in the U.S., but they're going through a diagnostic system based in Chinese medicine. So if you want to really jump off the deep end and learn more herbal stuff, there's great schools out there that you can attend to learn greater depth of herbs outside of just that little bit of research you might do on the internet for what I call grandmother's medicine.
That sounds perfect. So, I think let's go back now to the caregiver. And you said that you do come across caregivers who have stress. What do you, and, certainly a lack of sleep is high up there. What if someone is having some issues, say, with sugar, blood sugar, and inflammation? So how do you help them with that, with the two of you working together, with you and Dr. Cole?
There's so many different approaches. So for Dr. Cole, he's often tried using IV nutritional therapies or nutraceuticals. So they're more natural but isolated kind of components. For us, we tend to use the herbal medicine, and both of us, of course, use diet modifications.
Okay.
So we've got great herbs that can actually help with those sugar cravings as well.
Oh, that's terrific. I think also we want to know, and I know that we're going to be going to our break, but another thought just came to me, and now it just left me, and it was really a good one, so I'll have to think about that. But it had to do with the blood sugar and the working together, and knowing now that someone could just come to your place and get both the traditional and the non-traditional, as we would call it, maybe in layman's terms.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. And thank you so much for, so we've got 2 more minutes? 1 more minute. So as I was trying to come to terms with what you were just saying, I was thinking about the blood sugar and how that really does affect the inflammation. And you're saying that there's the nutraceuticals, right? Mm-hmm. That the Dr. Cole could use?
Yes.
And then you work with the herbs.
And the herbs can be very effective for looking at some of those chronic conditions, those longer
like
term.
The inflammation.
The inflammation part of it. And then there's simple ones like there's an Ayurvedic herb called Genema sylvestri that actually makes sugar not taste good. And so it helps to break that cycle of eating. So we can take that approach. And there's other things like topical herbs that we can use, like St. John's wort oil, to help with symptoms like neuropathy in the legs.
Okay.
So
that's
so
great.
many different ways that we can approach it.
Sounds so exciting. So we want everyone to stay with us because we've got more coming up of talking about breaking the silence and opening the lines of communication. I'm Kim Linder. You're listening to the Caregiver Hour on 1250 Winds WHNZ.
Welcome to Air Ambulance Worldwide, a leader in the medical transfer industry. If you need to move a loved one anywhere in the world, we can help. You can reach our knowledgeable flight coordinators 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From the moment we receive your call, we'll plan and oversee every step of your patient's transfer, including ground ambulance in the departure and arrival city, private aircraft, and a personalized team of medical staff to travel alongside your patient until they arrive safely at their final destination. All members of our medical staff have at least 5 years of ICU and CCU experience.
Patient care and safety is always the number one concern at Air Ambulance Worldwide. Our customer service is exceptional. Our affiliate, Air Gato Enterprises, manages our aircraft. Air Gato is an Argus Gold safety-rated company. Air Ambulance Worldwide is URAMI accredited. That accreditation says that both our medical protocols and our safety record in aviation is exceptional.
Air Ambulance Worldwide's flagship aircraft is the extraordinary Piaggio P180, which provides the very best cabin environment available for your patient's care. The interior is 50% larger than a Learjet 35, so there is ample room to work closely with the patient. With a stand-up cabin, it can carry 3 passengers, 3 large suitcases, a wheelchair, and has an enclosed lavatory.
As a company, we understand the sensitive nature of this time. We work hard to take away as much of that burden as we can, so our clients can focus on their loved ones' needs. For example, if they have private insurance, we'll confirm benefits, submit, and track the claim to closure.
If you need to get a loved one across the state or around the world, Air Ambulance Worldwide has the experience to complete the mission safely. All of this with the finest aircraft and medical teams in the industry, you can rest assured you are in trusted hands. Call us today, toll free at 877-922-9675 or direct at 727-781-1198.
It's the Caregiver Hour on 1250 Winds WHNZ with encouragement, guidance, and support for caregivers. Here's your host, Kim Linder.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a beautiful day. We're having a great time here at Clear Channel, 1250 Winds WHNZ, and we're really talking about breaking the silence and opening the lines of communication and what that could mean for caregivers and how to really benefit your journey as a caregiver. Whether you're a professional or a family caregiver or a friendly caregiver, I just did my newsletter is really about how friends are caregivers and what that means and how you can get energy and really feel like when a friendly caregiver comes into the picture, such different energy, so emotionally different energy, and able to really look at things a little more objectively for the family. And so if you're someone who is a family caregiver and you want to have a newsletter that talks about that, please get in touch with us at thecaregiverhour.com. It's on our website. So we're here with Mike LaVoy, and Mike LaVoy is he's really a wonderful financial planner from Beacon Asset Management. And Mike, how are you doing today?
Just peachy. How are you?
I'm doing just fabulous, like a plum.
Well,
like a peachy plum. Why not?
It.
All right. So, Mike, you've been listening to our whole conversation about breaking the silence and opening the lines of communication. How does that come into play when you're with family caregivers and talking about financial matters?
The financial matters are not exactly exciting.
Yeah.
Until you get down to the arguments.
Oh. And then you get to watch the drama.
Then you get the drama, you get the crying, and, it can be a real problem.
Yeah. How do you deal with that?
You sit there and you shut up and you listen to them.
Okay, so you just give them the space.
Yeah, you let them talk. When they you try to teach, you try to figure out what the one person's saying, and then say, well, I think I heard it this way to the other person, and see, I don't think we've been in mediation, but it's very much, instead of going to separate rooms like an attorney would, you're sitting there with each other, but it's the same concept. You are listening to one person and saying, okay, this is the way I think they heard it. What do you think?
I see.
And come to some kind of agreement.
All right.
It doesn't always work, but...
So once they start opening the lines of communication, tell me more about that as a financial advisor, because that's an important topic.
The financial part of it is you don't want you can run amok very quickly. You can.
It's expensive.
It's expensive. It's not cheap going to a nursing home. The problem you have is a lot of the older generation don't want to talk about their money.
Right. They want to hold on to it.
They're opposed to talking. They've been taught that. They've done that all their life. They've been saying, no, it's my money. We're going to keep it close to the chest. We're not going to let anybody else know. And they've got to let people know. They've got to know where their assets are, because if you're going to get certain benefits from the government, you've got to be able to display those assets to the government to qualify. And if you don't have those assets, you've got to tell the government you don't have them, so you can get the benefits. Okay.
So that's really a tight rope that you walk, I would think.
It can be, there's a lot of, I don't know if it's embarrassment on some people. They don't have, they're 70 years old, they don't have any money, but they don't want to tell their kids that the cash flow is okay, the house is paid off, we're not hurting for cash flow, but we have no assets to pay for our nursing home or whatever. And then you've got the other side that are the hoarders or the greedies that, don't want to say anything because they don't want everybody else to know how much they got.
I see. So we're going to keep it a secret.
Going to keep it a secret, and and hope that it just comes together.
That's something. So, so you actually do some psychology while you're doing some financial advice, I would think. Advising.
There is some. I guess you would. I don't want to call it psychology because somebody's going to get mad at me for saying that word. But there's a lot of negotiation. There's a lot of.
I would think so.
Trying to uncover things and let everybody else know what's going on. And as a financial advisor, I'm the third party. I'm a neutral party.
You are.
So I don't have to take sides. I don't want to take sides.
Right.
This is we have a goal we have got to get to, and we've got these assets, we have these liabilities, and we need this kind of care. So how do we get to this goal?
So this is a really great point to now bring it to everyone's attention, the importance of breaking the silence and having that communication, having this conversation about someone's finances. I am a daughter, and my father has always kept everything a secret. What is the best way for me to approach them, Mike?
Funny you should ask. I had a meeting with my father this morning to discuss this very thing.
With your own father this morning?
With my own father and my sister.
See, you're not immune.
Oh, no, everybody goes through this.
Yes.
I don't know about your age because you're much younger than I am, but at my age, I'm in the prime area for this kind of concern with my family. So, the way to do it is to sit down, and we had coffee and an omelet. Sorry, doctor, it's not very healthy. It did have eggs in it.
Some protein.
Good protein.
Did you put some vegetables in there, Mike? No.
Hash browns.
Oh, my God.
You got to have some starch. But the only way to start the conversation is flat out ask, where are your assets? What have you done for a will? Who is your custodian? Who is your guardian? There's a checklist that I have, although I didn't use it this morning because I pretty much know the checklist. But Dad, where is if you it's just my mom and my dad living at the house,
right?
And the dog. So mom has got Alzheimer's and real bad. Can't dial 911. So if my dad passes out and hits his head on the ground, who's the dog going to dial 911? How's this work?
Right.
So, that kind of information is very important. And then, it usually leads to, well, I've got this plan. And if the parents, if the caregiver has done some kind of planning, you're leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else. Normally, that's not the case.
Right.
Normally, it's, I figured I was going to live till 90 and not have a problem ever. So I didn't need any planning. That's why we now have a JD in the office. We can do the planning in the office.
Okay, and what's a JD?
Attorney, a estate planning attorney. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you have a
Juris
state
doctorate.
Okay, so you have a state planner as part of your
yeah. So we can do the docs
practice.
and the wills
Okay.
right there in the office.
I mean, because you don't want them to have to wait
oh no,
another second longer.
you sit down with a client and you're talking to them,
Right.
and okay, we've got this done. Traditionally, on a lot of financial advisors, they have to go down the street to the attorney.
Yes.
You go
Okay.
down the hall,
All right.
talk to Paul, and get it done.
Okay, that's really smart. So, it's great that you're this financial planner, but you're also a caregiver, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And so how did that conversation go with your father?
He pretty much stonewalled me,
Oh, he did.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
And your sister as well?
pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I want our listeners and viewers to know is that it can happen to any of us, and that it may be more than one time that you're going to approach this conversation.
Oh, yeah. This is second
Yeah.
or third time I've had the conversation with him.
Because he's not in enough pain.
No, he hasn't reached the point yet where
Yeah.
he says, okay, I got to release this
Yeah.
stuff. And sooner or later, the pain will outweigh.
Yeah, it
so
will.
It's just a matter
Right.
of keeping in touch and contacting him.
Exactly. So in caregiving, we have a lot of patience, and we have to walk out of a room and just do some deep breathing and relaxation, and just know that, it's going to happen. It's just, that you don't want to force it. You don't want to get into this argument and tug of war. And
No.
so you just give it a try, step back, you give it a try another time. So how's your sister dealing with all of the caregiving that's going on?
She is about the same position I am. She knows that we got to figure this stuff out.
Right.
And she is, she's female, so she's a little more emotional about it than I am.
Okay.
A little bit more heartfelt. I just need to know numbers. And who's got them and where they are, and who's in charge when something happens.
The facts, ma'am.
I need to know the numbers.
Right.
But she is, and I am more concerned about his health. What is somebody told me once right in this room that it was like 60% possibility he would pass before.
Right.
He's dealing with cancer now in his leg. He's dealing with all kinds of stuff, and I would imagine that a lot of it is stress related. And the more we have the mom at home
I
thing,
see.
the more stress we have.
Okay. But he's committed to taking care of her at home.
For now, yeah.
Okay.
Until he can't.
Right. Okay.
And only he can tell me when that is. I can't.
Right. That's what I mean by the
I
pain.
can't make him do it.
No, you can't.
He's still over 18. And
Right. He's
in this
still in
state,
charge.
in this state, that still matters.
Yes. And he's in charge, Mike. So I'm sorry you're going through that. If there's anything I can do for you, I just want you to know I'm a phone call away.
Thank you.
But if someone is interested in meeting with Mike LaVoy, I highly recommend it. So, Mike, let's give our listeners and viewers your phone number.
It's area code 813-269-0732.
And you are located where exactly?
Well, it's Northdale Mabry Highway. We're
Okay.
out just short of Lutz. It's 16514 Northdale Mabry.
Okay.
It's in the
Yeah.
Carrollwood area.
Yeah, it's very easy to get to.
We're a mile off the toll road.
Right. So, what else would you like our listeners and viewers to know as a financial planner, and they as caregivers, of maybe how to get their stuff in order? Like sometimes with caregivers, we're trying to control somebody else that we don't think, oh, maybe we should be controlling what we can control, and meet with a financial planner. This is my thought.
I like
What do
the
you
thought.
think? You like that thought?
Control what you can control.
Yeah.
Forget about the rest because it ain't going to happen.
Exactly.
So, if you are in the caretaker situation,
Mm-hmm.
sit down. Even if you don't do it with a financial planner, sit down and look at the stuff and get it organized. I think most people, when they sit down and look at it, they're going to go, I really need some help. And then you go out and look for a certified financial planner, preferably not somebody at a large brokerage house. It can be an independent person.
Okay.
And do some checks, do some background checks. Just don't, because they got a cute website. Don't, it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
And then sit down and talk to them.
Okay. So if someone had a question and they didn't know someone maybe in one of the other counties surrounding us, could they call you, Mike, and could you
Certainly.
refer someone?
Certainly.
Okay. Why don't you give them your phone number again?
813-269-0732.
Okay. Mike, thank you so much.
No problem.
You do such a great job.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're very welcome. We've got more coming up because this show just keeps getting better and better. We have Cindy Cucuz, Director of Marketing and Public Relations at Memorial Hospital of Tampa. Stay with us. I'm Kim Linder. You're listening to the Caregiver Hour on 1250 WINS WHNZ.
Loved one experienced bladder control problems. Here's important news.
For more than 5 years now, the nice ladies at the Caregiver Partnership have taken the time to understand my needs, suggest the best choices of bladder control products for me, and always get the right product delivered to my door fast and with free shipping.
To get started, simply call 800-985-1353 for your free catalog and $60 in coupons. Many people just like you trust the Caregiver Partnership for convenient home delivery of bladder control products. And they have more than 500 to choose from. Call now. The call is free, shipping is free, and your satisfaction is guaranteed.
The Caregiver Partnership treats me like family and really knows their stuff. And they keep my business private.
Call 1-800-985-1353 now to receive your free catalog with $60 in coupons. That's 1-800-985-1353. Call now. The voice in the preceding advertisement is not the voice of an actual customer.
I'm Mike LaVoy with Beacon Asset Management. While 30 years of experience in financial services may have prepared me to be a certified financial planner, no amount of planning could have prepared me for the stress of being a caregiver. The financial planning my dad and I did when my mother became ill made caring for her bearable. At Beacon, we are committed to helping you take care of your financial needs so you can take care of your loved ones. Give us a call at 813-269-0732. 813-269-0732.
Your home is where you feel relaxed, safe, and secure. Arcadia Home Care understands that you want to maintain that freedom and independence, even though you may be recuperating from an injury, illness, or simply require a little support with daily activities of living. You create a plan for your life as you envision it, and you can rest assured Arcadia will provide companionship, personal care, housekeeping, shopping, and errands, or whatever you need. They deliver their services with compassion, dependability, and professionalism. Their caregivers are screened, bonded, and insured, and must meet rigorous hiring standards, so you are confident you're receiving the best care possible for you or your loved one. Visit ArcadiaHomeCare.com or call St. Petersburg at 727-579-9414 to schedule your free in-home assessment and learn how Arcadia can enhance your quality of life while helping you stay at home and healthier longer. Call Arcadia Home Care, 727-579-9414, providing quality services since 1978.
Caring for an elderly parent or a loved one with special needs can be challenging, stressful, and frustrating. If you need help finding the best professionals in the field of home care, legal advice, integrated practitioners, respite care, or a great support group, call the Caregiver Helpline at 1-877-552-4950. That's 1-877-552-4950. It's a free service provided by the Caregiver Resource Network. Call 1-877-552-4950 or go to thecaregiverhour.com. Hi, it's Kim Linder from the Caregiver Hour. I want to tell you about an attorney in Clearwater that I have known for over 7 years. His name is Bill Rambaum, and I have referred many families to him for his legal expertise. Bill is one of less than 100 attorneys to be evaluated by the Florida Bar and become certified as a specialist in elder law. His 30 years of experience and impeccable credentials make him one of the most highly regarded legal experts in our area. Give Bill a call today at 727-781-5357 or visit rambaumlaw.com. Non-attorney spokesperson.
It's the Caregiver Hour on 1250 WINS WHNZ with encouragement, guidance, and support for caregivers. Here's your host, Kim Lind. The Caregiver Hour on 1250 WINS WHNZ. It's about taking care of yourself while you take care of others. Here's your host, Kim Linder.
Hello, everyone. Oh, we've been having such a great conversation. I love this show, and I love the topic, breaking the silence and opening the lines of communication, which really takes us from another perspective. We've had Mike LaVoy with financial. We've had Bob Linde with Oriental medicine and really helping us how to be healthy and wise. And now we've got Cindy Cucuz, who is the Director of Marketing and Public Relations at Memorial Hospital of Tampa. So welcome to the radio show.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Cindy, tell us more about who you are to our community, and then tell us about Memorial Hospital of Tampa.
Well, I'm actually a resident of South Tampa and have been for over 30 years. I have worked at Memorial Hospital a combination of 14 years. I actually am at Memorial on my second gig, so to speak, as I was an administrator, assistant administrator there about 15 years ago for 10 years. So I learned the operations side of Memorial and was invited to come back about 3 or 4 years ago to serve as their marketing director, spokesperson, public relations.
Wonderful.
And was very excited to do so because it's a place where I spent a lot of my career. I believe it's a wonderful place nestled in the community here in South Tampa. It's my community, so it's very easy for me to promote and talk about the hospital because I believe it's, as some people say, our best kept secret, because a lot of people don't know Memorial Hospital exists right there in the community, just down the street from Hyde Park Village.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and it's beautifully located, and I've been there now a number of times. I see staff walking around really in a good spirit, and we want people to feel good about where they work. And so you really lead by example, to tell you the truth. So tell me about Memorial Hospital, since it's this gem. Why don't we tell more people about it?
Well, as I said, we're nestled in South Tampa, right in the community, in the neighborhood. We are down the street from Hyde Park Village, located on Swan Avenue in between McDill and Howard Avenue. And it's a small campus. It's a 183-bed hospital, full-service hospital. We don't do babies. We don't do OB. But we have an 18-bed emergency room that we boast about all the time because we're a smaller campus. You don't have to meander through a parking garage.
Okay. Really easy.
Very easy access. Parking right adjacent to the emergency room. A very user-friendly hospital to the neighbors in the community. We treat all ages. We treat many seniors. We, as a result of that, have many services geared towards seniors, but also their children and caregivers of seniors, as we've been speaking about today.
Yes. So tell us about the senior program, if you don't mind focusing on that for a moment.
Not at all. We're very proud of our senior program. For years, Memorial has treated seniors as well as their families. We often spoke in the last couple of years about we have this captive audience, and wouldn't we like to be more of a resource to seniors, to caregivers, to their family members? Right. And as a result, we brought on another individual to help us develop a Health for Seniors program. I have learned that we are the only hospital in Tampa Bay that has a dedicated seniors program. So again, very proud of it. It has grown to over 600 members. And we offer all sorts of community education for them, support groups. We have Tai Chi. We have some socialization types of activities for seniors. And it's really been, we've just really been successful. And it's really become a signature service line for us because we have been, throughout the community, been recognized for all the activities we're providing to those folks.
That's wonderful. And is there a certain name for the program?
It's called Health for Seniors.
Okay. And that's led by
Linde Reese.
Yes.
She is our senior program manager, widely known throughout the community for all of her involvement in helping spread the word and be a true resource to older Americans.
Yeah, she does a great job. In fact, we're going to be having an event coming up, and we're so excited. We're going to have it on Tuesday, May 27th, from 9 a.m. till noon at Memorial Hospital of Tampa, and they are located at 2901 West Swan Avenue in Tampa. We're taking the Caregiver Hour radio show on the road, and we're going to have a show recorded that day. So normally we're on Tuesdays when we do our live show. That week, we're going to be recording a show on Tuesday, and it'll air on the following Monday. So we're so excited because we're going to be having, there's going to be a lot of networking for you for professional caregivers, but we're also going to have only 12 vendors. Linde and I were very, very particular about who we wanted to invite to have on the show. And so between Linde Reese, Katie Levinson, my director of business development, and myself, we really decided, pick and chose who we want to be there. And there's actually a wait list. So there's a lot of people who want to be inside Memorial Hospital. Cindy, you need to know that.
Good. That's exciting.
It is exciting because what they're going to do is there's going to bring a lot of other professional caregivers into your hospital who are going to now be able to share that information with their patients and clients. So it's all really good. We've got some special guests, Dr. Susan Steen, who's a neurologist, and she's extraordinary, actually. We just met with her. She is really terrific. And Dr. Concatelli, who is the MSW, he's got a PhD, and then he's an executive director of the Institute of Optimal Aging. And he just spoke at your hospital for the volunteers. You were honoring volunteers that day, and they had, I don't know, maybe 12 massage therapists there to give people massages, just to thank all your volunteers for what they do at the hospital. And I think that was really well received. And then Dr. Concatelli talked about really aging and how to age well. So I thought that was really terrific. And then we have one other geriatric doctor. And do you know who that doctor is?
Yes, Dr. Albert Towle. He is actually...
Tell me about him.
He's a board-certified geriatrician.
Okay.
With quite a following. Dr. Towle has spent years specializing in taking care of seniors and received his boards and has just actually sat for his boards and renewed them again.
Okay.
But quite a distinction. There are not a lot of board-certified geriatricians in this area. So we're very proud to have him as a very loyal member of our staff. He's been on our staff for years. And again, when we have this show, I'm sure his fans will appear because he has quite a following.
That's terrific. And we're excited about having him on. I know I'm meeting him this week before the event is going to be on. And then we're going to have an interactive panel discussion. After the show is recorded, then we're going to have them sit and have all the audience ask them all kinds of questions. Now, what's nice is that all of these people have been to Memorial Hospital and have talked to your seniors in your program, the Health for Seniors program, but we've never put it all together. And that was Linde really thinking, how do we do this? How do we make it special? So she did an excellent job. So again, if anyone is interested, we welcome you to come on Tuesday, May 27th from 9 a.m. till noon at Memorial Hospital. There's going to be food, there's going to be music, and of course, great information. And you can RSVP to Linda Reese, the Marketing Program Manager, at 813-342-1313. But you can always email us at kim@thecaregiverhour.com, and we can do your reservation there. I think we have about 30 or 40 people who've already RSVP'd, so we're looking to, so there's still some seats available if someone wants to come. Why don't we talk a little about the hospital again and all the different specialties that you have there, so that if someone is listening and lives in South Tampa or has a family member live in South Tampa or a friend who may need a hospital, let's talk more about your specialties there.
I'd love to do that. A lot of people don't realize that we are a full spectrum hospital, again, without OB or pediatrics or newborns, but we offer all the services and have an exemplary medical staff and staff at our hospital to provide all the services that any community would need. We have excellent skilled physicians, expertise in every area, great equipment, technology, and are very proud. And I always say that once somebody comes to our hospital and utilizes one of our services, we've hooked them. Many times people will come to the hospital or they'll come to a presentation by a physician and say, I had no idea you had these kind of ophthalmologists here. So orthopedics, ophthalmology, digestive health, the whole gamut, we offer it all.
Well, that's wonderful. Cindy, thank you so much for being our guest today. And I want to thank our other guests too, Bob Linde, Doctor of Oriental Medicine, owner of Acupuncture and Herbal Therapies, and Mike LaVoy, President at Beacon Asset Management. I hope that you have enjoyed this show, and I hope that you will do something wonderful for yourself today. We've talked about different ways for you to open the lines of communication and breaking the silence to empower yourself as a caregiver. I'm your host of the Caregiver Hour. I'm here every Monday from 11 a.m. till noon on 1250 WINS WHNZ.